That was Wasalu Muhammad Jaco. And at the 15-year mark is when Lupe Fiasco, or the beginnings of what would become Lupe Fiasco. Being a nerdy kid interested in, I want to be a scientist, I want to do chemical engineering, or I want to do
What if the deadliest revolutionaries never raised their voices? What if you could dismantle systems without making a sound? Because Lupe Fiasco didn't shout. He didn't chase attention. He didn't beg for the spotlight. He just picked up the mic like a blade and started slicing through illusions. He's the assassin you didn't see coming, because while the game was loud, Lupe was surgical. And the question that lingers isn't why he never blew up like the rest. It's this: what kind of threat does a genius become when he refuses to play dumb? Wasalu Muhammad Jaco, born on the west side of Chicago, raised on karate, Qur'an, and complex rhymes. He didn't grow up in the trap. He grew up in the library, in the dojo, in the silence of thinking before speaking. When kids his age were chasing clout, he was chasing clarity. He wasn't a gangster. He was a philosopher with a flow.
Back at this place and show everybody what I can do with my face. I'ma smile and style and hold down the aisle and everybody that. Maybe I'ma move into the South. Maybe I'ma go into Atlanta. Maybe I'ma hit him with the camera.
Might not get it, but it's dope though. Matter of fact, local, surrounded by gang members and a lot of popo. I'm cool. Error.
Signals from the source, just like guitars, just feel like I'm...
There was a, I was just doing mixtapes. Yeah. And mixtapes for me back in the day were like, oh, I'm gonna take this record, I'm gonna flip it, or I'm gonna take this beat where...
Period of time had no idea that there was a structure behind that there was a system behind that it had impact beyond the arts, right? That is referenced in politics, that is referenced in the social, it's referenced in the corporate.
He saw rap not as entertainment, but as encryption. Every verse, a riddle. Every line, a landmine. By the time Food and Liquor dropped, he wasn't a rapper, he was a codebreaker, exposing consumerism, war, racism, and industry puppetry, without ever raising his voice. Picture it: President Lupe Fiasco. He doesn't walk into office. He glides in, quiet, focused, unreadable, no campaign slogans, just one line on every poster. Think deeper. First executive order: no more lies in textbooks. Second, art becomes a core subject. Silence becomes sacred.
What I was known for and what I kind of got good at early on was flipping other people's records. Their record might have been like completely about something else, but it might have been one thing and there was like, oh, that might be interesting if they continue with that. So the Panda song, shout to designer, beat was fire.
He holds press conferences as poetry slams, wears hoodies to summits, cancels military spending to fund libraries. Every national address is a spoken word session. And every debate ends with, did you really listen or did you just hear? His cabinet, Minister of Critical Thought, James Baldwin, Secretary of Sonic Warfare, Jay Dilla Chief Strategist, Angela Davis. Lupe's America isn't loud, it's lucid. It doesn't scream change, it thinks it through. In his world, every school has philosophy class. Every neighborhood has a think tank. Every rap battle is a symposium. There are no awards for fame, only for precision. Every street corner has a cipher. Every police station has a poetry wall. He reinvents hip-hop as a university. His presidential playlist: Black Star, San Ramos Def, Nina Simone. He doesn't promise you peace. He hands you the blueprint and says, read it carefully, then decide. But silence is dangerous, because they can't twist what they can't predict. And Lupe didn't fit the box. Too Muslim for the mainstream, too smart for the scripts, too conscious for commercialism. When he criticized Obama, they called him ungrateful. When he refused to be exploited, they called him arrogant. Radio stations shelved him. Labels silenced him. Award shows skipped him. He wasn't blacklisted. He was white-noised, drowned under the volume of mediocrity. But he never caved. He never begged. He sharpened his silence like a dagger and kept writing. They tried to break him through bureaucracy, pushed album delays, censored messages, pressured him to simplify. But he refused. He leaked his own music, built his own stages, became his own platform. Because when the machine shut the door, Lupe didn't knock. He rewired the building. And when they asked him to water down, he served acid. He wasn't here to entertain, he was here to warn. And warning doesn't pay well, but it saves lives.
Standing outside of heaven waiting for God to come and get me. I'm too uncouth, unschooled to...
They ain't gon' clap and they ain't gon' praise. They want everything back that they pay. Black Cadillac days is what keep them on track to be emcee. Hard to fill his MySpace page, stack that cheese, got 700 plays. Producer made him take
Controversy. controversial to some, you know, tame to others in the same respect. That touches on a lot of different points and concepts. You got really personal records like Beautiful Lasers.
As a businessman, I'm more akin to kind of like Dame Dash, you know what I'm saying, than anybody else. Because I'm about my crew, you know what I'm saying? I'm about my family, and making my family succeed and making sure my family eat, you know, so I'm very loyal to my crew like that.
Lupe became the phantom of the genre, mentioned in whispers by every new rapper who still writes bars with meaning. He's the shadow in every lyrical cipher, the unspoken blueprint behind every intellectual MC. He didn't chase streams, he shaped currents. His influence lives in syllables, in samples, in the decision to say something instead of just rhyme something. He didn't vanish, he multiplied, through minds, not metrics. So what if Lupe Fiasco ran your country? Maybe he already does. Every time you stop scrolling and start thinking, that's Lupe. Every time a kid writes truth in a notebook instead of pulling a trigger, that's Lupe. He never needed the throne. He assassinated the illusion of one, because kings speak to be seen. But assassins, they move in silence and let the message bleed. Lupe didn't fade out. He zoomed in, and for those who listened, he left maps, he left warnings, he left words sharper than weapons. He was never chasing noise. He was building codes, and long after the charts forgot him, the message remained. Think deeper, speak sharper, move silent.
You can put up something and you have 600,000 fans and what have you, and you put up a link for something, right? And like, people don't really go to it. You would think that it would be like, you would think that it would be like, people really didn't read that at all. You know, they didn't go through it at all.
And you used it a bit with Atlantic Records when they were holding your album, getting your fans to protest for you.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay,
I didn't
you
get
didn't do
my
that.
fans to protest. They protested. That's the